Hi, dear friends. Hi, everyone. European Association of Software Engineering on air. We continue a series of our teleconferences with the whole world. Today, we speak with our friends and business association from Israel. We will talk about this country. We will talk about how to launch IT or innovative business or startup there. I must say that Ukraine and Israel was always close and was always friends. And this country today really help Ukraine in the circumstance that we face. And really a lot of history, a lot of business history we have. We have a lot of in common. We have common mentality. We understand language of each other. We have a lot of families divided on these two countries. And if we look back in history, really we can say that Israel can teach us a lot, because the circumstance of war, the circumstance of economic not stable situation, they have already survived and surviving still, but have won this situation. We only face some circumstances of this, some hard situations. So I think that this teleconference will tell us how to do business in these times of war, how to do business with Israel, how to launch IT startups there, how we can help each other, how we collaborate. So hi everyone, dear viewers, dear friends, everyone who watch us, please share this link with your friends. Please add some questions to the chat. You have the opportunity to communicate with our speakers just right now, because we are on air. So please let me introduce our honorable speakers and our guests of teleconference today. They are the big friends of EASE Association. It's Eugene Chairman, CEO of ITFI Solutions Ltd. Hi.
Hi, thank you, Liubov.
Irena Lifshitz, attorney, head of executive committee, Israeli-Ukrainian Association NEXUS. Hi.
Hello.
And Eliran Keren, managing partner of 3PL Ventures Ltd. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
So, dear friends, nice to meet you all. Thank you that you found time and opportunity to join this conversation today. This is the friendly conversation, and I'm sure that your experience will help our viewers, our IT entrepreneurs from Ukraine, to find out how to launch business and in Israel. So why this country can attract Ukrainian IT entrepreneurs? First of all, of course, you can hear say about already happened businesses in partnership of these two countries, and maybe we can start with some practical stories of this. So who would like to start?
I can start. Actually, I was born, to be honest, I was born in Kiev, and I left Ukraine with my family 30 years ago. And during the 30 years, to be honest, I was not working with Ukraine at all. I starting or exposed to Ukrainian IT market and development market just a few years ago, and I was very excited to see well-developed and how far Ukrainian software development market went during this period. My background actually is IT and information security. I have more than 20 years of experience in developing IT product, leading IT organizations, and providing IT information security services. And during last few years, I also, as I mentioned, I worked with Ukrainian market. So I think that Ukrainian market and the IT market, first of all, we have to understand what is IT in terms of Israel. Okay, when usually when we are talking about IT, and many times our colleagues in Ukraine very confused, and our colleagues in Israel are confused or working with Ukrainians. When we're talking about IT, we are talking about internal information technology services, focusing on application, infrastructure, services, etc. Okay, you can never, if somebody wants to hire software developers, DevOps, customer support guys, they never call it IT. Okay, then when companies, service provider, when come to Ukraine, to Israeli companies, and try to explain that they can provide IT services or IT stuff, and here we don't need IT stuff, you have to understand that maybe you was misunderstood, and you have to explain with the right language and right position.
Okay, so how do you call these companies who provide this IT stuff?
R&D staff, software developers, software engineering, hardware engineering. So, but again, not IT. Okay.
Okay, we will know.
And so that is the first question. And if we are talking about software developers and software engineering, till February this year, many Israeli companies worked with Ukrainian software engineers, and there were many reasons for that. Okay, in Israel, the main idea, the main direction of Israeli market is entrepreneurs and initiators for new business, but we have a huge gap of talents and developers, not only developers, actually all talents in our high-tech industry. And here it was, from one side, we don't have enough talents. From other side, the talents that we have are very expensive. And then many companies looked for alternatives, and thanks for COVID, many companies understood that it's okay to work remotely, it's okay to manage remotely, and then it opened many opportunities for talent pools like Ukrainian market to start working with Israelis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was my understanding and my experience of opening door for Israel market for Ukrainian.
It was a very good introduction, you know, and your explanation is very, very good. For example, for me, it was new. Israel has brand of startup nation. It's very, very interesting for me, and but I'm interested if this nation has startups only for Israel people, or everybody who can do the startup there, or we can talk about the remote partnership from two countries, for example. And let us now see the key reasons and benefits of starting business in Israel, in collaboration or starting it itself. Eliran, maybe you would like to speak here.
Yeah, of course. So there's some few angles that we can approach that. I want to say first that we, the Israeli guys, really like to maintain and initiate cooperations. So it's like to say hello in Hebrew. You say cooperation every day, during the day, sometimes every hour. So yeah, it's always open, and the guys will always be open to hear and brainstorm and try to find the right position for the added value. So that's something you can start with. So this is for the beginning. It's a good starting point. Starting a business in Israel, you don't have to be a resident. So it can be 100% of the shares, of the equity can be of foreign holdings. So that's not an issue in Israel. You can, this is actually one of the advantages Israel is very promoting. So you don't have to be Israeli residents. 100% of the shareholders and directors can be foreign completely. I want wanted to continue what to take it from what Eugene just said about the talents in Israel. So we actually dealing with almost 18,000 missing talents, let's say, positions, workers, employees, whatever, mainly senior ones. Because in Israel, we have a lot of academia, and it's very known that after serving in the military service, you go to the long trip around the world, and then coming straight to the academia arms. And a lot of people have their degree, but they lack the experience. And this is a gap that a lot of money invested in Israel. The government is really into it, and a lot of programs initiated over the years, but it still remains a big issue in Israel. And that, in a matter of fact, it's always in a rise. This issue and this gap is always in a rise because global companies and corporates are initiating more and more R&D centers here. So there is a big issue around the salaries in Israel. High-tech salaries are rising, and I don't know the average salary in Ukraine now, especially now, but in the high-tech industry in Israel, the salaries are going high every year and year, and with tremendous percentage growth, let's say. So it's kind of weird because it's bringing some loop, because you need to fundraise more as a startup, and then this the same, let's say, $10 million that you used to fundraise 3 years ago are now worth like 5, because salaries just went high, and startups always looking for talents. It's
actually, sorry, I will interrupt you, but high salaries is not really benefit for the entrepreneur. It's like benefit for programmer more. Let's say now about really, Irena, maybe you will say what reasons do you love Israel market for? So maybe you can name the key reasons. Why is it good to build business there? Why is it good to launch startup there? Some key benefits for the entrepreneur who wants to enter this market.
Well, I think that first and foremost, Israel, as small as it is, the market is very mature, and it's also very diverse. Mm-hmm. And huge benefit, especially in the area of high technologies, simply because pretty much every startup is the world itself. So in Israel, there is a world of opportunities for each and every startup to find partners, to enter friendly regulation. Also in Israel, the latest tendency is to develop technological clusters to allow businesses to work together to enter an ecosystem, a friendly ecosystem. Also, there are mechanisms to allow the startups in the beginning of their way to assist them with the fundraising, with several projects and several programs, government supported. And this is something is not related, like Eliran said, it's not related to the identity of the owner. It's simply related to the technology. Because in Israel, we appreciate, first of all, the essence of the startup, and we're less concerned about where it comes from. Mm-hmm. So this is basically the most efficient platform for the foreign startup to enter the country and to work as if it was born here, and that's something I really love about it.
That's great, thank you. Yeah.
But still, we have to remember the difference between cultures in Israel and Ukraine. Okay, Israel high tech is very, very non-formal relationship between managers and people and developers interpreter and investors, etc., etc. Okay, so you have to understand the needs, and you have to understand the advantage of entering or investing or opening sites in the Israel market is exposing to technologies and to open mind culture of people here. The disadvantage is that taxation is quite high comparing some other countries. So you, of course, you have if you are looking at Ukrainian tech market, we see that companies divided as usual to service providers and product service-wise and product-wise. Okay, so for product-wise companies to come to Israel market, and they have very strong idea, and they have a very strong competition with local idea generators. For service-wise product companies, it's a bit easier. They just have to decide if they open a branch here, or they create here company, some subsidiary, and they're working in this way. So of course they can discuss it with accountants or with lawyers, because there are some advantages for each model. Okay, but I think that for service-wise companies, much easier to work here. But again, it's all about positioning. I think that the PR for Ukrainian products and Ukrainian the ability to develop something. Okay, Ukraine never marked or recognized as the startup nation or high-tech community or high-tech country. Okay, from many people, Ukraine is mostly agricultural country, industrial country, but not technology country.
Evgeny, I can support you enormously, because me as PR manager, I can talk for hours about this, actually, and I really agree, and I'm so helpful for you that you raised this topic, because we're working on this psychological process here with IT and with the country in general, for them to understand how PR and branding and positioning is important in the world and here in the market, in any market. If you don't do PR, if you don't know your audiences and the message that you have to,
I would say that on the top of it, the Ukrainian companies have to consider involving Israeli executives in advisory boards, in board of directors, in order to bring them. Also, we always have something to say. Israelis always have something to say about the product and about any topic.
About anything.
Yeah, and also we never, let's say, we never think twice before we saying something. It's that's it. But from
it goes away with age. It goes away.
But from other hand, also the executives that are involved in managing Ukrainian company can open doors and can understand the product and bring it, expose it to local community, to local VCs, to local forums, etc., and to allow and recognize Ukrainian community and cluster as a viable and valid cluster and the players in this.
Yeah, Evgeny, I really agree with you that when you enter some market, you have to have executives from this market. You have to have national representatives of this country, for sure, because every market has so many psychological and mental specifics. And for example, we digged deeper in psychology, and I like it, because if you enter, for example, Israel market, market, you have to understand how do they mentally think, how do they understand each other. So now let's be specific about features and features of legal registration business in Israel, and maybe some tax rates, let's say, yes, in IT and innovative businesses. Here, maybe you have some specific knowledges here. Maybe Eliran, would you like to start here?
Yeah. So just for adding about what Eugene said, just keep in mind that the Israeli market is pretty mature now, but we are a very small country, and every startup here is looking directly to the US market, sometimes into Asian markets, and etc. But the US market is very popular here, let's say, and some key factors is 40% out of Israeli exports. It's high-tech industry, and most of it is to the US. So Israeli can be a good bridge to the American market because we have only 8 and such million people here. So we are not that much big market to sell in Israel, but we are a good bridge, and the Israeli government spend a lot of time and efforts to help those exports efforts. So that's something you should consider also. If you're looking to go to the American market, Israel it's a very good bridge for that, especially in cybersecurity, military, and all those software-ish areas. And about establishing a company in Israel, so it's a very, Israelis love it very fast and easy and comfort, and it's not always like that when you're starting a company. But to be honest, we just love to complain. It's very easy to start a company in Israel.
Wow.
It can take.
I established my company in 2 hours.
In 2 hours, yeah.
This
yeah.
is the specification I would like to.
I was surprised. Really. I was surprised, but it took 2 hours.
That's great. That's great. It's not like in
Europe. If you were
an
alien and if you've heard of some Israeli guys talking about bureaucracy in Israel, you should you would consider it will take like 2 weeks. But no, it takes a few hours if you know what you're doing, and if you're not, it take 2 days, and it's very digital these days. So yeah, that's easy. Taxes are 17% VAT for selling, and 23% for earnings. But you know, there is a lot of tax planning you can make, and it's very easy. And you know, we're Jewish, so we're good in financials.
These are secrets.
I never told that. I never said it.
Not only hire local executive, but also hire local accountant.
Yeah, and tax consultancy.
This is the key advice.
It's actually true to work with the local attorney and the local CPA. It's really important because you always have those minor details that only a local professional can actually identify. But I can say, in my point of view, the best way to enter the market is not to jump and establish the local company, as well as it may be established as a foreign subsidiary or a representative or whatever. But in my point of view, the smartest way is to go gradually, to enter the market gradually. First of all, the best way probably is to examine the possibility of local partnership with an established and well-reputed company working in the same field, or maybe in a neighboring field, so you can actually join forces and enter the market by maybe, enhancing a mutual product or a mutual production line. And then the next way, of course, that all depends on the contract, but then maybe the best way is to, try the water and step in gradually into the local market, trying, where your strengths and weaknesses are. And that would be the safest way to come in. And then also when you enter the partnership with the local company or the local partner or a startup, there are also some opportunities opening with the grants and programs, like I said, especially the governmental programs that sometimes are subject to a local partnership instance. So if you have a local partner, that might open some doors for you. So that might be a good way to consider.
That's great, Irena. That was actually my next question. How is the best way to start the steps?
Yeah.
For example, look for a government program or some funds or some local partners. So I hear that the best way to start is, first of all, find some local partners here.
Local partners, local executives involved in, again, in managing company and in board, etc. Because you have to understand the culture, you have to understand that as Elran mentioned, we're a very small country, so also everybody knows here everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's unnormal situation when you first time you meeting somebody and after 2 minutes you understand that you was with him in army or in studying or etc. Okay, so and then you have to be very trustable and you have to work with trusted partners that other people can understand. Wow, if you work with that person or with that company, we can trust you and we can open our doors to you. But
So the reputation is very important, as usual. Yeah.
But I also have a question to you, because today in the routine of war, I know that and I encountered many questions from local companies, from Israeli companies. What is going on with the Ukrainian market? What is going on with Ukraine? So if after the war, the companies and the talent pool still will remain in working from Ukraine, or the people preferred, to work from anywhere, and then we have to wait for people going to different countries and then working from there. It's both from personal questions at personal level. If I'm hiring something or I'm starting to work with somebody, where I will find him in 1, 2, 3 months or 1 to 3 years, but also for companies. Okay, so as I understand, you are not talking about moving companies from country to country, but to extend and expand over across the borders and expand over Ukraine. But the question, what is the tendency in the Ukrainian market right now?
Actually, it was the big question when the war started. Okay, the big scale war started here. A lot of countries and a lot of IT companies from these countries, from our neighborhood countries and far abroad, they started to message our IT companies and say, oh, you have the war, we can take your programmers. We know that you cannot anymore do your orders, so please, our doors are open. And it was very insulting for us, actually, and it is understandable. Here, we're not talking about how to take our programmers from Ukraine to Israel or from any other country. If we're talking about the collaboration here, of course, we have some companies with the programmers, with IT specialists on the bench, and they can work particularly in other countries. This is one side. And another side, that the entrepreneurs, the founders of companies here look for the collaboration with other countries, with Israel, with USA, with Singapore, with any country. And here I would like to find out if you see the opportunity for the remote partnership, or it is always necessary just to go, for example, in Israel, to live there for like 1 year or something, and only in this case you can launch the business. Or you can really stay, for example, me in Kyiv, Evgeny in Israel, and we do the partnership. What do you think? Is this possible way?
I think it's absolutely possible now, so that we proved it's a proven concept during the last 3 years. Again, thanks to COVID, we understand that it's possible. Of course, as Ira mentioned, you have to involve some local partners in order to do this penetration, less painful and easier to enter Israeli market. But for every day, you maybe have to come to few meetings or to do some kickoff on site. But once you've done the kickoff and you go to ongoing activities, the ongoing stuff you definitely can manage remotely, and people today, teams can work together over Teams, Zoom, and some other collaboration programs. So I cannot see this as an impediment for entering Israel market.
That's great. Let's move on. If somebody wants to add something, please.
Oh yeah, I just want to add that our software agency is working with Ukraine freelancers all the time. So that's something we are used to do that. It's very common in Israel to work with other companies aboard. And just another specific about how to work with the Israelis or how to start with that. Israeli very famous with its communities or tech communities. For example, me and Irena talked about wellness community, and there's a lot of theme communities, vertical communities for smart mobility, for health, and for et cetera. Climate change is rising now. So if you're working or dealing with some vertical, and you probably heard about some guys in the community, there's very organized community managers that dealing with promoting you in the Israeli community all the time. It's a lot of guys with a lot of meetups and all the
by the way, Eliran, thank you very much. It's a great advice, actually. And I agree here with you, because entering any market is very good to start with the specific, this sphere community there, local one, because you enter it and you already know everybody there in the country from your sphere. So it's great, really great advice.
And there's a lot of delegations coming to Israel, and you can join in. Take a tour in the Israeli high-tech. It's 5 hours driving across the north to the south. So it's not that big.
But then again, you have to know Israeli culture. So you have not to be shocked if somebody directly can say, oh, come on, it's a bullshit you do, change, you throw up this product, you can earn nothing from it. Okay, or
the Israeli chutzpah, it's rudeness, but it's not rudeness.
Without Israeli chutzpah, I think you cannot achieve the results that Israeli company achieve. And we saw many situations when Ukrainian guys were confused by attending some meetings when everybody talking simultaneously with everybody. And we can talk, from 1 hour of meeting, 30 minutes, we can talk about children, vacation,
and still no decisions, just like children, wife,
and at the end say, okay, let's talk tomorrow, let's discuss it tomorrow. Today we have no, we don't have the karma to make the decision today.
Yeah, but then it takes about 5 minutes to make a decision, to issue the protocol, and to get going.
But then you can expect to schedule another meeting in 9 p.m. Because you have the decision, you have the idea how to take the decision today. So this impulsive management and reactive management, it's again, and Israeli chutzpah, as everyone said, that is the designators of our culture, and the companies who start working with Israel, they have to understand these differences. Okay, we are not European countries and of course not Asian countries. So we have a very specific way to communicate each other.
There is also a good part to it because there is, in my experience, there is almost zero distance between the senior management and the working layer, simply because, we all go together to have lunch, there's like zero tendency to make that distance between the different layers of
my Ukrainian colleagues were shocked when I told to company's CEO I could talk. Yeah. Okay, I'm don't disturb me. I'm busy now. Let's prepare coffee for both of us, and I will talk to you in 15 minutes. So it's okay for me. It's very native for me. After 30 years in Israel, it's a natural way.
Here we have the same in some companies, but not not everyone.
Those companies have better chance to be involved in Israeli market.
Dear friends, that was great. Let us move on. Now I would like to speak about Israel funds and Israel funding and investors. Maybe you will tell me about some specific how to pitch projects there in Israel, how to find money, where to find money, what do Israel investors and funds like, what do they don't like. So please, some secrets and some advices from you.
Okay. What do you like and what you don't like? No? Come on. Yeah. We also want to hear your secrets.
Yeah, I can tell you both as an entrepreneur and the VC guy. Just choose whatever angle you want. But yeah, okay. So first of all, there's almost 700 VCs or fund firms in Israel. So there's a lot of opportunities here. It's per capita, it's a lot. It's top 5 in the world, I assume. And on top of that, you have a lot of incentives from the Israeli government. It starts from $30,000 for prototyping something and goes up to $1.5 million for establishing a tech company, a startup. If it's more mature, and when I say mature, it can be an idea with some demonstration, right? It's not mature, we have sales. So the incentives are very, very varied. And Israel is a member of the European Union, and we pay a lot to be in the European Union. Is eligible to address the Horizon and the EIC accelerator programs of the European Union. So it goes up to $2.5 million euros, excuse me, non-dilutive grants, and goes up to 17.5 million euros with equity involved. So there's a very huge opportunities and varied opportunities to get funded. So the Israeli market is full of ex-founders went VCs in these days. Like the last decade produced a lot of, let's say, in simple words, multimillionaires after exit, looking to invest as angels, and angels, syndicates, SPVs, never mind the details. But there is a lot of money, looking to invest. You need to know about Israeli VCs and investors that we don't like to hear about bullshit. It's kind of obvious after what we just said about our rudeness, let's say, and Israeli chutzpah. We don't like to have huge, long presentations with market research, blah, 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 blah. That's important. It will come in the next meetings, the following meetings, but a few 10 slides making the statement and how your proposal is unique and why is your team is the one that can deliver it, that's something you should focus on. Because all those macro trends in the world about something, I don't know if let's say cybersecurity, there's a lot of frauds in the cybersecurity, and then you have 10 slides about frauds in cybersecurity. I know that because I invest in cybersecurity. I know that already. So that's not something that investors appreciate. So it's kind of connected to what Eugene said about the nature and all those specialties in Israel and culture. So you need to know how to get to the spot fast enough, but you need to know that if you're looking for $1 million, I'm talking about early stages, right? I'm not talking about late stage and IPOs. That's something else. If you're IPOing, don't do it in Israel. It's not that. it's not the time and place. But if you're in the early stages, let's say up to round B, from pre-seed, seed, round A, maybe B, you probably have to prove that you're the one that's going to nail it and becoming a unicorn very soon. So you need to make this statement very, very understandable and very fast. And it's all about the team. Like in general, it's always about people in team. So the team need to be in great focus. Another thing you need to know about the Israeli funding or how to get funded in Israel, that you have a lot of opportunities to get loans. Not every time you want to be funded with an equity transaction. You can have some very good terms of loans, including from the Israeli government sponsorship. So you can take almost every amount money that you're looking for. There is a route for that or a path for that. And there's a lot of programs for that. But as we all said, I think it's becoming very obvious now that you need to be partnered with somebody local. So we know how to make those paths or tracks worthy and go fast and smoothly, because you can make a very tiny little mistake of filling some, I don't know, some details you required, and nobody will approve it at all. You won't get the politeness of knowing why you didn't get the funds. So that's something you should take under.
Eliran, thank you very much. It was very full-scale advice. It's really helpful. Thank you. Dear friends, we have a question in the chat from our viewers, so please try to answer. I will read. Guys, good day. Can you please recommend any startup hubs or incubators in order to enter the Israeli startup ecosystem? I'm running a femtech startup and now living in Israel, Haifa. So please, who would like to speak here?
Did you
Me
say
also
femtech?
in Israel, Haifa. But maybe Eliran can explain how to join.
Yeah.
So recommend startup
again,
hubs or incubators.
It will be hard. First of all, because I have my own. But, second,
Okay, do the
that's easy.
Okay.
That's why I told that maybe you can explain.
Yeah, but to be objective, there's almost 300 accelerators and hub centers in Israel. So again, it's going, you know, it's like a filtering routine, because if you're dealing with femtech, you said femtech.
Yes.
I heard correct? Yeah. So that's something not that common in Israel. But I can refer to Hannah Rado. She's having an accelerator for femtech. So if somebody wants, I can send you after that the link, and you can share that with them. And you just Google it, and you will find it. But you have the main issue is you have some accelerator, a bunch of accelerators for every 10. So if you are dealing with femtech, you probably find some good accelerators in the north or in the south. If you're dealing with cybersecurity, you will find some accelerators that this is their expertise. So you should always find the one that's not very wide open and domain agnostic. And if you're looking for someone that dealing with like a domain agnostic accelerator, it's always comes with another expertise, like funding expertise or developer or tech, let's say, talents that dealing with the startups.
Also, I would take off the geolocation issue. This is for a very small company, so it's not doesn't matter if you are located in Haifa and you find some cooperation in Tel Aviv. Okay, it's not like Lviv and Kharkiv or something like that. So it's 1 hour in the train between the two cities. So geolocation is non-issue at all. And yes, you have to, there are many incubators and many companies and many VCs develop some incubators that they monitoring and looking for next investors, investments, etc. Okay, so
also maybe a good
yes.
way to give it a shot is to speak with the Innovation Authority in Israel. Basically, the Innovation Authority, they run a huge database on the startups and the communities and the hubs and the acceleration programs, as well as governmental grants, etc. So maybe the good advice to that person taking the first steps would be contacting the relevant department in the Innovation Authority just to, hit the ground running.
Assuming they have a local partner, because if it is pure Ukrainian companies that temporarily located in Israel, Innovative Authority will not help them. And again, we go back to our primary basic recommendation is to have a local partner in order to earn or to have some investments. Also, VCs that Eliran mentioned. Many times VCs prefer or invest when a foreign company has very strong local partners. From my experience, VCs also are looking for the investing in team and not only in technology. So they want to see the team can work together. The partnership is very strong. There are no conflicts between partners, etc. And once the idea is good and team is very strong, the probability become a unicorn is much higher.
Okay, thank you, dear friends. At the end, I would like us to speak. We touched it a little bit, but I want us to be specific. Let us talk about current IT market, innovative market in Israel. Yes, what startups really are popular, what are not. Maybe you have some lack of ideas or some lack of some business. I've already heard that cybersecurity is most preferable, but maybe something else. Let us speak about the infrastructure of IT currently in Israel.
So cybersecurity is very famous in Israel, but I don't think we're looking for another cybersecurity.
You have enough, yeah?
It's a red ocean. It's very hard.
Only cybersecurity. I try to think what not popular in Israel. So actually, there are many startups in cybersecurity, of course, but also in food tech and biotech and fintech and some enterprise solutions and enterprise products. So.
Yeah, in Israel, with our strong abilities is B2B SaaS enterprise. So this is like the main route. Like 90% of the startups is it's there.
Okay, if we talk in percentage, for example, IT product companies and IT service companies, what here is the?
What do you call IT?
Service and product. I mean Ukrainian IT position. Yeah.
I don't have the exact figures. Maybe my colleagues have, but I can say that in Israel we have almost 7,000 startups operating right now at the moment. It's the second in the world per capita, and it's almost doubled. If I need to, to just throw a number with services, but I know that robotics, unmanned, all the autonomous, and climate change are three topics that now the Israeli government wants to promote, and there's not a lot of startups in this area. So if you're operating in those industries, it can be very interesting. And another thing, continuing what we just said about the Israeli Authority, Innovation Authority, there is a specific track for JV with Israel, Ukraine. So if you find the local partner, you would get funded up to $250,000 each. And that can be a very specific track that you should consider. So just Google it, or I can share the link after that with you, Liubov, and yeah.
That's
And
great.
also, I
Liran,
draw
thank you.
the link to Startup Nation Central, and you can find everything here there. It's very indexed, and it's like my I open my morning coffee and Startup Nation Central.
Okay. I see we will do the
I think
same
that
from tomorrow.
preferable domains today are automotive, food tech, and all around, smart city or how to.
And climate change, a lot of alternative energy sources. I mean, that's the in thing.
So in general, future technologies, yes, if we say that's.
But
Okay.
remember what Ran mentioned, that and also funds and investors focusing and looking for B2B enterprise solution, SaaS solution. They prefer this domain. So that's why also the most of startups going to this direction, because it's easier to
get
find
money.
investor
Yes.
here.
That's great. Dear friends, we are at the end of our conversation. I think that that was very helpful for our viewers and from viewers from Israel even. That's make me happy, actually. Let us do some conclusion of this topic. Maybe Irena and Evgeny, I will ask you, because Eliran gave us a lot of advice. Thank you very much. Maybe you, dear friends, let us make the conclusion from this conversation.
Well, I think if we sum up everything that has been told, first of all, I think there is a lot more to talk about. So we'll be more than happy to meet up again and elaborate on those issues. But I think if we resume what has been said, I think the main point is that Israeli market is open for partnerships with Ukrainian companies, with Ukrainian IT people. Eugene, I know you're going to ask me what IT means, but bear with me. Yeah, so I think Israeli market is more than welcoming for foreign partnerships in all the technological areas to be developed. And I think that, first of all, we can say that we're here to support and answer any questions and support those who are actually considering doing that and elaborating on those issues. So I think that would be okay. If I speak on behalf of my colleagues here, is that if you have any questions, if you have any specific advice that you need to support here in Israel, you are more than welcome to contact us and speak to us, and we'll do anything we can to help out. So that's as much as I can say at the moment. So I think that the right thing to say is welcome to Israel, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with working here and establishing your business and finding partners, the right partners, and hit the ground running.
Thank you very much, Irena. That is such a pleasure to hear this. Really thank you. Evgeny, would you like to add some conclusions?
Sorry, I just want to add that, of course, as Rena mentioned, I'm here and I'm happy to help. And it's one of my domains that my company dealing with to find this partnership and to work with Ukrainian companies. But I want to mention actually NEXUS, our Israeli-Ukrainian association that we established in February. You can guess that it was after 24th of February. And we decided that one of directions, our goals, it's not just sending, we send huge amount of humanitarian aid to Ukraine, but we want to, on the top of it, we want to see and to understand and develop the mutual business opportunities between two companies. And one of our goals is find this matching and expose the communities, Israeli and the Ukrainian communities, each other. So it's one of our goals of our association, and you're welcome to use this platform, and let's win together.
Let's win together. Dear friends, I think that that's the best motto we could end up all this conversation with. I really want to thank you for this helpful advices, for your energy, for your time, for your welcoming. And I want to say that NEXUS and all of you guys are really now big friends of European Association of Software Engineering. We will always welcome you here and in digital and alive here in Kyiv in Ukraine. Dear viewers, thank you that you were here with us. I want to say one more time our speakers. It was Evgeny Sherman, CEO of ITFI Solutions Ltd, Irena Lipshitz, attorney, head of Executive Committee, Israeli-Ukrainian Association NEXUS, and Eliran Keren, managing partner of 3PL Ventures Ltd. Dear speakers, thank you very much, and I'm really looking forward for our next teleconferences and live meetings also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck.